Today we are going to be creating a rhinestone design using a combination of some of the methods we've already learned. But the difference here today is we'll be working with a JPEG or PNG image. This is a JPEG. It doesn't have a transparent background. But this technique would also work for a PNG image as well that has a transparent background. Now, the reason we need this technique is sometimes your clients may not send you a vector image. And once they don't, or rather a vector file for the design they want to make, and when they don't, you are now stuck. None of all the things we've learned from circles on curves to blend, using the blend tool, or step and repeat, none of those things will work. The first thing we need to do is to convert this design here, I chose this specifically, into a vector design. And the difference between this and a vector design is, as you can see, when I select, I'm selecting the whole design. I can't select the individual parts, and this is more or less a picture. It is not a graphic design per se, and it doesn't have, the thing about vectors is that it's lines and you can break it down. So the first thing we want to do is to convert this into vectors before we go into filling it with stones using the techniques that we've learned. Now, fortunately, CorelDRAW does have an inbuilt tool that enables you create vector designs from a picture or PNG image like this, a JPEG or a PNG image like this. However, it will depend on the quality of the picture or image you imported into CorelDRAW. So if I zoom in, you can see how jagged this looks and blurry. It shows you this picture isn't of a very high quality, and it will affect the way CorelDRAW interprets and transforms this into a vector image. But we'll do it anyway so you can see. So to convert this to a vector image, you go up here, bitmap, or you go to trace bitmap up here. You click the drop down and go to quick outline trace. Then you go to line art, not logo, line art. If we click that, it's going to create this new window. Then if we click OK, then let's select and drag this to the side. Now what it has done, if we ungroup it, now you can see we can select different parts of the image. But if you zoom in, you can see that the lines are not straight. They are quite jagged. Even the crown is not completed up here. They are jagged all over the place. Then you can even see one grayish looking, what's it called here? Now, one way you could solve this is to decide to go and individually use your shape tool, which I gave S as shortcut, and try to adjust these nodes one by one and straighten them out. That's one way to do it. But if we do it that way, then we'll need to put this on top of the original design so that we can follow, and let's just like tracing it basically, so that we will make sure the curves are aligned. Now that's one way to do it. The other way to do it would be to trace it from the jump. Just trace it yourself, because you know we didn't even have the original, the crown wasn't completed. So we are going to trace this from the jump, and in the process we'll learn more about the shape tool up here, and we'll learn about the nodes, and we'll learn how to manipulate it. because we would need all of these things as you tackle more advanced designs. Now, you may not necessarily need to do this at the jump, which is to figure out how big you want the design to be, but you can decide to do that now. I already set the size as 11 inches wide and 10.814 inches tall. So we can leave it at that. So the first thing you want to do is to lock this image, lock the object, so we can't select it by mistake. Fine. Next thing we want to do is to come down here to the freehand tool and click this bottom triangle. So it brings out this drop down menu and we click this Bezier. Best to give it a shortcut. For me, I used Shift W. Create a shortcut for it. Now, you can see that my icon has changed. Let's use V. This is the pick icon, select icon, then Shift W, which is the shortcut I use for the Bezier handle. But the first thing I want to do is I want to zoom in and see all the jagged edges. So this is how we use our Bezier handle, or rather our Bezier tool. We click on it or use your shortcut. Now what it does is that it enables us draw. So we click this point, click this point, click this point. Then if we come back to the original point here, you can see, look at the icon. Let me zoom in so you can see it properly. This is our Bezier tool. We click this spot, just click anywhere. Click somewhere on the right, click somewhere at the bottom. Now, if you are looking at the tool, you can see that the icon is like a cross and something curved and a box, right? But by the time I take it back to this small box, this small transparent box here, it changes to an arrow. What that is telling me is it's going to join these lines together and make it into a solid shape. So if I click that and go to my use my pick tool, now I can move this around. I can give it a shade, I can give it a color, or I can even change the stroke color as well. So this has now become like not so perfect triangle. So whatever you are doing with the Bezier tool, you must also always make sure you take it back to the first small square here to close it up. We call it close up. Now, we zoom in properly. You can see that there are these tiny what's it called, squares at the points where the lines join. Those squares are called nodes. They are called nodes. And those nodes allows us to manipulate these lines whichever way we want. When you click it, you can see the nodes, but you can't really click the nodes. In order for you to select the nodes, that is, you can select the individual squares. The nodes you can select by using your shape tool. Give it a shortcut. I have mine as S. So going forward, I'll just click S and move on. Okay. So now that we've clicked our shape tool, you can see the entire line is highlighted. Now I can select this point. You can see it's now highlighted compared to the other nodes. There are 3 nodes here. And as I've selected it, I can drag it anywhere I want. I can move the nodes. If I select this one, you can see it's highlighted, although this isn't like a square, this is more like a triangle, but it's a node anyway. I can drag it anywhere I want. Undo. Can select this one too. I can drag it anywhere I want. Now, The other thing I can do with the node is I can change the curvature of these lines with the node. Now selecting this one, now right click. You can see it now brings us a whole bunch of menus. Now this is to curve. So if I click this, you can see automatically I'm now getting these triangles here. These are called Bezier handles. So if I drag this one here and I drag this one here, I've changed the curvature of this triangle. So I've turned this into a curve. I can bend it whichever way I want. Now, when I clicked it, it did it for this line. So if I want to change the curvature here, I'll come here, right click and go to curve. You can see these Bezier handles I've come up to. So I can drag this one here. I can drag this one here. I can make it more like rounder. So if I want to change this one here as well, I come here, right click to curve and drag it. So you know, from even this, I could even create a circle. See, like an unofficial, not so perfect circle and all that. That's something we can do. So what started out looking like a triangle, or what started out as a triangle, is now looking like a square. Now we can also return this to lines rather than curves. So if we click here and right click, you see to line. So if we click that, you can see it snapped back into a straight line. We come here, right click, and we click to line, snaps back into a line. We click here, right click, and click to line, snaps back into a line. These are the basic features of the Bezier tool and nodes. And from what I've just shown you, we'll use it to trace out this design, thereby creating or transforming it into a vector design. Let's go. So the first thing we need to do, of course, is to select our Bezier tool. Now, this, you just pick anywhere. Make sure you zoom in so you can see where you are selecting. Bezier tool, click anywhere here. You know, you are trying to follow. It's like you are tracing it. Now, another way to do this is if you had like a drawing pad or something, and you could use your pen tool here in order to do this. So you just be drawing. But since we mostly don't have that, we'll use our Bezier tool. So we click here, right here. Click here. Now, I only showed you how to do it, you know, like if you were drawing like straight lines and you just wanted to join. You could also give it a curve. So one way is you could just go one, put a node here, put another node here, put a node here, and put a node here. Now, another thing is because the design is black, you can't really see the lines. So one thing you can do is to change the stroke of the line. So all you need to do is with the line selected, come here and right click on red. Right click would change the stroke. Left click will change the feel. As if it's a shape that is closed up. It will change the color of the shape, not the outline. So right click for outline, left click for filling. Okay, so now we can see, right? Now you could say, okay, how do we continue moving? We could just go back to our Bezier tool. Remember where we stopped? We stopped here. Now, if you go back, you can see it changed icon. This icon is telling us that it's going to continue this set of lines. So we click on that last one. Then we shift our screen, come down. We shift our screen, come down. We're just clicking different points. Click, click, click. Just keep going. Just cover it around. Of course, you can zoom out so that you can see better. I just know how to do this a lot better. So, now that I've zoomed out, I'm not following this anymore. So, Shift W is my shortcut for Bezier. You can see my icon changed to that arrow. So I can click that point, the last node that I created. Come down here. Come here. Come here. Put someone in between. Come here. Come here. Come here. Come here. Come here. Come here. If you notice, I'm making sure the nodes are at strategic points where the design has some kind of what's it called? Some kind of intersection, Those are the points we need. Put this here, put this here, put this here. No, undo and put this here and put this here. Put this here. Now make sure the very first one you do, the last, you make sure that arrow comes out as well. You click it. Now, if we use our shape tool, we can move it around. To make sure we've also done a good job, if you change the color, which is left click, you can see it filled it. So it means this is a full shape. You've done a good job with the tracing. However, we haven't actually traced anything because all we did was create lines. It didn't go give it curvature. That's where we come in and we go node by node and change the curvature. So this one, we select it, right click to curve. So we take this here, bend it to follow the design. We come here to curve. We take this here and take this one here, following the design. Now you can also move your node around if you don't like where it is, like I'm doing right now. So this one, we right click to curve. Now, to save you the stress of having to right click all the time, you select one curve, rather select one node, then click Ctrl A. What it does is that it selects all the nodes. If you zoom out, you see what I mean. Let's select any of the nodes. Remember, if you want to select the node, you need to use your shape tool. It's not your pick tool, your shape tool, which I've given S. So if we select any of the nodes and we use Ctrl A, you can see that all the nodes are highlighted. They are all highlighted. Now we can now right click and click to curve. So automatically it has given all of them to curve. So we don't have to always right click all the time. So if we now come here and click this one, you can see the handles are already there waiting for us. This is just to speed up your work. Remember that we're doing everything we can to speed up our work, which is the whole point of Rhinestone design. We need to speed up our work. So all I'm doing now is just clicking the nodes, the handles come out, and I'm bending it to follow the curvature of the design. Now, it's not so easy when you are doing it zoomed out like this, but I just want you to be able to see what we're doing. So I'll zoom in so that we can see a lot better the curves that we are trying to follow. Okay. Mm, mm, mm. If this was a normal tutorial class, like something on YouTube, this point will just fast forward. And just fast forward it. So you constantly be zooming out, zooming in, especially for a design like this that is quite big, and you are doing this kind of tracing. Now, okay, no, let me not talk about that yet. Let me be done. Now, the thing about tracing is there are lots of things you learn in the process of tracing, which you would see. And I picked this particular image. Oh yeah, I'm doing something now. So instead of picking this one after the other, like this, one. If I undo this now, I could just come to the center. If you notice, my icon is the shape tool and a box. But if I come to the line, it becomes the shape tool and a curved line. What that means is that I can drag this, just select anywhere on that line and drag it. So I've now dragged both sides at the same time without selecting the handles. So it's something you can just decide to do throughout. Just select that middle point and drag it. Select the middle point here, drag to the point, select the middle point here. That's another quick way to do it.